5 bridges in Kentucky with terrifying legends attached to them. And be sure to check the link in my bio, because if you love my spooky stories here on TikTok, you'll love my short horror story compilation, Ghost Mountain. Now back to the story. Childs Creek Bridge. The vengeful ghost of a woman haunts this bridge. She was walking across it on the night she died and was struck by a speeding car. Craving revenge, the ghost woman sometimes appears when a speeding car passes by late at night. Lover's Leap, Cumberland Falls. Late one evening in the 1950s, a newlywed couple traveled to Cumberland Falls for their honeymoon. After they checked into their room, they decided to go for a romantic stroll. They stopped at the pillars where the bride posed on the ledge as the group began to snap pictures. Below was an 80-foot drop. Something went wrong and the bride tumbled off the edge and into the rushing waters below. She was swept away in the water, never to be found. Visitors of the park sometimes claim to see a woman in a wedding dress walking the edges of the river crying. Slash Bridge. Little is known about the history of this bridge, but if you go there late at night, it's said that strange phantom sounds can be heard, specifically the sound of people being thrown into the river, followed by sinister laughter. Pilot Knob. You may have seen my video on the Pilot Knob Witch. In the video, I mentioned that locals believe the cemetery to not only be haunted by the ghost of a baby witch, but also by a more ominous entity known as the Watcher. While some choose to believe that the Watcher is malevolent, others say this entity is actually protecting the little witch. There's a legend that states the Watcher was someone who was murdered on a swinging bridge nearby the cemetery. Ghost Bridge. A bridge in Oak Grove, Kentucky, near the Fort Campbell military installation, has a dark legend. In the 1960s, a soldier who had come home from overseas to find out his wife had cheated on him, unable to control himself and his emotions, he tricked his poor wife into going on a late night drive to Oak Grove Bridge, and in a brutal fashion, he took her life. Her remains were found under the bridge at a much later date. Afterwards, locals claimed to see a glowing apparition wandering the water, and those who caught sight of the apparition up close claimed the entity looked decomposed and corpse-like. Be sure to follow for more spooky stuff and let me know in the comments if you've ever had any encounters on these